Let's also go to our correspondents who fanned out to every corner of Chennai. Nolan Pinto is reporting from Pattinakammam in Chennai. Gopi Krishnan Unnithan is from Mamallapuram, just outside Chennai. And Akshaya Nath is in Cuddalore in Tamil Nadu again, where remember there are already heavy rains and there have been wind speeds of fairly substantial number there in that part also. Let's first come to you, Gopi Krishnan Unnithan, because Mamallapuram is where we are told some of the brunt of that landfall could take place later tonight, early this morning. Has the entire area around where you are been evacuated?
Well, Rajdeep, it's actually really interesting to note that the situation is quite normal here at the moment, because even I was surprised to see that just a while back when I was speaking to our colleagues, there was a power outage here and we were assuming that was a precautionary measure taken by the local administration. But over the last 1 hour, the wind speed has been quite low, or I may say it just been around minimum or below minimum range, and that could be one reason now they have restored the power in the streets of Mahabalipuram. And there hasn't been a large-scale evacuation in the area because most of the houses here are actually properly built houses a little far from the coastline. So only those houses and people who were living dangerously close to the coastline were actually evacuated. And these vehicles that you see on your screens right now are actually the vehicles of the local administration, which is here on standby. They are just roaming around the streets to ensure that there are no trees that has uprooted, and if there is any such issue, they will have to press on to their jobs very quickly. So there are multiple teams deployed across the town of Mamallapuram. And also remember, this is one area where there could be a huge influence when this particular cyclone makes its landfall around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock early morning tomorrow.
Nolan Pinto, you are in Chennai, where we are told already there have been power cuts since this evening, perhaps in some cases as a precautionary measure as well. What is the situation at the moment? Are the wind speeds relatively normal?
Well, Rajdeep, certain areas they've actually done that in order to keep the people, the citizens of Chennai safe. But where we are as of now, it's just pretty normal. It is drizzling, but the wind speeds, well, that has picked up. Rajdeep, it's like this. If you head towards the beaches, the Marina Beach and the areas around there, you won't be able to stand over there. It's that bad. You sit in your car starts to move. But when you come into Chennai city as such, it's drizzling, it starts to rain, it stops. The wind speeds over here are pretty high, but not that much that would actually scare people. But declaring a public holiday today was actually very, very good, Rajdeep, because in spite of the declaration, people are still out. The government decided so that in case of emergencies, people would be safe. Imagine, you wouldn't want flying objects to injure people. And what the government also did was made sure that whatever extra hoardings that they could actually see, they made sure that the municipal authorities removed them in order to keep people safe. And also, Rajdeep, the Adyar River, everyone remembers that nightmare that they had in 2015 when in Guindy, in fact, that particular bridge was completely inundated and it cut Chennai into two parts. What they have done this time around, they have allowed water into the river. They have told the people that we are keeping track of this, of what's happening there. And also those living on the banks of the Adyar River in low-rung areas, they have evacuated them and made sure that they are in rescue centers. So all these steps basically done to keep people safe, and it's as of now working.
You know, Akshaya, you're in Cuddalore, where, you know, these are all parts which have at various times in the last few years been affected by cyclonic conditions. There was, of course, Cyclone Gaja in November 2018, claimed 45 lives, enormous destruction. Presumably, the administration in Tamil Nadu, with a strong reputation of efficiency, has really got its act together to ensure all precautions are taken.
Well, yes, certainly, Rajdeep. In Cuddalore, what we had seen is that the administration have built around 192 relief camps, 44 specifically for the fishing villages in the coast. And earlier today when I was at Cuddalore, I had seen that water levels there also was increasing dramatically and flooding was happening. And we need to remember that Cuddalore is a delta region, an agricultural base, and it always gets inundated, be it Cyclone Gaja, Cyclone Varda, Cyclone Thane. All these cyclones, we've seen that Cuddalore has been majorly affected, and that's one of the reasons why maximum deployment of NDRF was put there. And Rajdeep, just coming to the location where I'm currently at, I'm right now at Puducherry. I am at the shore, and you can see that there are monstrous waves which are hitting the seashore now. You can even hear the sound of those waves coming in. And you know, earlier today they were around 6 to 7 feet, but now it's around 10 to 12 feet. And you know, while talking to CM Narayan Swamy, he was telling that all the coastal lines along this belt will be affected, and hence all precautionary measures are in place. The SDRF, NDRF, all of them are on standby, and the local administration will be monitored from a master command center by the Chief Minister himself. So you know, today is going to be a nightmare, but they're really hoping and praying that along with the COVID-19 situation, this will also be like taken care of effectively, and Puducherry will survive. This is the hope at this point of time, Rajdeep.
Okay, so you're in Puducherry, not in Cuddalore. Sorry for that. Akshaya Nath joining me along with Nolan Pinto and Gopi there in Mamallapuram. Thanks very much for those updates. Stay safe. How is this cyclone to be seen at the moment? What are the precautions? We've had a year when we've had at least two major cyclones. There was Cyclone Nivar, of course, off the west coast, and at the east coast you had Cyclone Amphan. M. Rajivan, Secretary, Earth Sciences Ministry, is with me at the moment. Also, Pradeep John is joining me. He's a Tamil Nadu-based man who tracks the weather. K. Srikanth is founder, Chennai Rains Weather Blog. But I want to come to you, Mr. Rajivan, first, because there's a sense, first of all, you know, if you could explain to our viewers a sense of a very severe cyclone. How is this being seen by people like you? This is the third major cyclone in a way in the last 9 months.
That is true. Nowadays, what we find is now when cyclone low pressure system form, there's a very, very high probability that it intensify into a very severe cyclonic storm. So the probability of intensification is increasing every year. So that is attributed to global warming. And so this is not a surprise that this system has really intensified in the last 24 hours.
And how are you seeing this specific cyclone? Because we saw with Nisarg that it blew away in a way, and as it came towards the west coast, while it caused damage in Alibag and Raigad districts in particular, the intensity quickly sort of reduced. Do you fear the worst with this, given the kind of wind speeds that we are seeing at the moment, 120 to 130 kilometers per hour, probably not as severe as Amphan, but more severe than Nisarg?
Yeah, it is more severe than Nisarg. Normally, when cyclone falls over land, it normally decreases its intensity because it interacts with the land surface, so it reduces its intensity. But even 120 to 130 km per hour, gusting to 145 km per hour is quite good, strong winds. It can really give damage to many small installations, especially small houses, etc. And also, it's important that we should expect a lot of heavy rains along with this cyclone. And already in the last yesterday, Chennai has experienced some 160 millimeter or so. And from morning to evening, already about 7 centimeter again. So it's a lot of pretty rain. Good rains will come, and that can really flood the lower levels, especially low-lying areas of the city, especially Chennai as well as Cuddalore, etc.
Pradeep John, you know, you're there in Chennai. Give us a sense, because this is a part of the country which has seen floods in 2015. You've seen cyclones in 2018 with Gaja, now possibly another cyclone. Has Chennai and the people of Chennai in a way got used to these potential natural calamities and take all the precautions that are necessary?
As far as now, the rain is the major threat for Chennai. Day before yesterday, we got 80 millimeters, and today morning 160, and till now I think another 80 millimeters. Over 300 millimeters of rainfall has fallen in the last 36 hours. So many parts are, some parts are waterlogged, and there will be, the rains are also still continuing. So once the rains stop, the water can start receding. So we are expecting the rains to continue till tomorrow morning, and then after then, step by step, the rains are expected to reduce. So winds are not the major threat as of now. Still, once the cyclone crosses land, Chennai is expected to fall in the southeast quadrant of the winds. So once it travels inland, we might tomorrow morning see some gusty winds also. And unlike 2016 and 2018, when Cyclone Varda hit Chennai, and 2018 when Cyclone Gaja crashed into Delta, it was during the drought period. So there is not much soil saturation. But right now, Chennai has got very good rain. So even a gusty winds of 80 kilometers, 70 kilometers might uproot large number of trees also.
In fact, that's exactly what I was going to ask Pradeep John as well. Pradeep, the fact is that we've seen in recent times trees in particular across our metros being affected. Nisarg did cause minimal damage to life, but a number of trees were uprooted. Pradeep, is that a concern there in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai at the moment, that the fragile ecosystem could well be hit by a cyclone of this magnitude?
Yes, unlike Gaja and or Thane in 2011 or Varda in 2016, it all went into the populated areas. So this cyclone, I think, is expected to cross a little bit above Pondicherry, between Marakanam and Kalpakkam area, somewhere near the Cheyur Alampare belt. So which is not so densely populated or a metropolitan city. So the impact it's not related, cannot be compared to an urban situation. But still, as you rightly said, there may be, these parts have been getting incessant rains for the last 36 hours. So the uprooting of trees and might be the biggest problem, I guess.
Mr. Rajivan, our administration, we asked this to the NDRF as well. Is there a standard operating protocol that is now fully in place? To that extent, are we as a country much better prepared to deal with cyclonic conditions than we were, let's say, even 10 years ago?
Yeah, compared to the last 10 years ago, and now we have very, very standard SOPs and protocols for issuing warnings, and also taking actions by the state governments as well as by the central government. We have good collaboration especially with the NDRF, NDMA, and also state disaster management authorities and state governments. So we have standard protocols we have perfected now as far as the cyclone is concerned. And as you may appreciate that India has one of the best forecasting capability for tropical cyclones in the world, which is well recognized by even organizations like United Nations.
And Pradeep, presumably all of you are in for a very long night, so our thoughts are with you all. Have you and others issued periodic warnings? Are you all using communication networks? I know radio has been very effective in the past. Are you using this to spread the word and ensuring full evacuation from all the low-lying areas or potentially hazardous areas along the coastline?
Unlike Gaja, where the mean sea level is on par with that Vedaranam, and so it's a very sensitive location. But the good news here is that Chennai is a little bit in the plus side. So the storm surge impact might not be as strong like compared to the Gaja, where the waves have come well inside the land. So we may not see such kind of situation here. Still, there will be a good, whenever a cyclone crosses, the northern side will see the storm surge. So we might see that entire the ECR coast to Chennai city, there might be a good storm. So people are well aware of this. There is also a public holiday announced. So not much people are roaming night. And one more good news is the cyclone is going to cross at night. So not much people, as I said, the uprooting of trees and falling over vehicles or those passerbys. So this might cause the most number of deaths. So that kind of scenario might not happen. And those people who are in a vulnerable location, if they have gone to the cyclone shelters, I think without much casualties, we can go through the Nivar cyclone.
Well, as I said, if there is one state which has now mastered the art, along with Odisha, of dealing with cyclonic conditions, it is Tamil Nadu, an administration that has developed an element of expertise in dealing with these situations in the past. So we wish everyone there along the coastline in Chennai and other parts have a very safe night, stay indoors, and let's hope that the cyclone causes minimal damage. Thank you all very much for joining me there from Chennai and other parts. We'll keep, of course, tracking the progress of the cyclone.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.